Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Good evening, Insomniacs. I am Courtney, and you're listening to episode 96 of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. It is almost 2 a.m, and I was hearing some coyotes when I was inside and wanted to come out and try to see if I could get them on video, on tape. So hang on a second. All right, they're being shy, of course. I really like to do my podcasts in the evening, the early morning. Oh, can you hear that? Can you hear the coyotes talking? They are active tonight, you guys. Hang on, this is the coyotes. I'm trying not to have too much dead air, but I don't know if you can hear them. Anyway, I don't want there to be too much dead air and have people be like, okay, we got it. But that's exactly why I like to come out and do my podcasts this early in the morning, because the coyotes are active, the crickets are still going. There's still crackling and snapping of tree branches in the background. Kind of sets a cool vibe, a cool scene, And again, people that are in the city that don't get to hear this stuff, maybe this is the only time they get to hear it. So I like to kind of have different backgrounds going on so that people that are in different parts of the world can hear different things. You can also hear my fountain in the background. Anyway, why am I up at 2 a.m? Antsy, anxiety, still thinking so much about my mom. That's something, of course, I will never forget my mom, obviously. I mean, obviously, she's always going to be on my mind. My dad, all of my family members that have passed, obviously, I always have them in my heart and on my mind. But I just can't move past the whole reason that I started the podcast and, how my mom died and how unnecessary it was, how preventable it was, and how much guilt I have. The amount of guilt I have has been eating me alive, causing me to have insomnia. Guilt because I'm the one that talked my mom into, pretty much forced my mom into moving near me because it was before COVID and I didn't know. But I wanted to be able to care for her. I wanted to be able to protect her, to keep her safe, to see her more. And instead, the very opposite happened. And instead, she died alone and scared. And it is all 1000% our government's fault. I cannot move past hearing her voice and her calling me, begging me to come and visit her, begging me to take her out of the facility, begging and wondering why I'm not there, begging me to come and visit her, begging me to have her dog there to visit if I couldn't. And meanwhile, nurses that don't know her, nurses that have no ties to my mom whatsoever, and doctors and caregivers and housekeepers, they all got to see my mom. They all got to touch my mom, hug my mom, see her. I don't know. I can't move past hearing how scared she was to be alone and die alone. Do you know how many family members went through that? Do you know how many family members had to listen to their parents or their family members, their loved ones, call out and cry to them to come see them, to come visit them, to be by their side so that they don't die alone or die with strangers? So it was okay for strangers to be around our loved ones. That was okay. And now this administration, the same administration that murdered, and I'm going to say that they murdered because they did, they murdered innocent people. The same administration is trying to hint that they're going to force us to vaccinate and wear masks again. Haha, I'd like to see how many people are going to do that this time around. It still shocks me when I look around and I'll still see people wearing masks. God, I was driving around 2 days ago. I probably saw 10 people wearing masks. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Idiots. I'm sorry, but if you're wearing a mask, unless you have some type of major disease in which your immune system is severely compromised, if your immune system isn't severely compromised and you're going around wearing a mask, I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. But I'm not sleeping. I'm not sleeping at all. And my mom died needlessly, and I feel a massive amount of guilt, and I'm just not the same person that I was before she passed away. And holy cow, the coyotes are going crazy. I have 3 voicemails that I have kept of my mom when she called, and I have some video that I took of her before she passed. I think of all of the doctor's appointments that were canceled because of COVID and the hospitals making it mandatory for people to get shots. And so a lot of people quit. So they were understaffed. So my mom's very, very, very important urinary urology appointments were canceled, and she had a catheter, and she ended up being severely septic. I have so much anger and so much guilt, so much PTSD over this that I really can't sleep, even less than I did before, which, I slept like 4 hours before. Now I'm sleeping. I do have nights I sleep, of course, but I just don't think I'm ever going to get over this guilt and this trauma. And everybody out there that's had to experience it knows what I'm talking about, and it's unforgivable. It was needless and reckless and unforgivable. This administration has just been reckless. No shame, no guilt. It just makes me fearful for mankind. I don't understand how guilt and shame aren't in certain people's, like they just don't have it. They don't experience it. How can you not feel guilt and shame for something like that? Their power and just having all that money just somehow erases your conscience. That's sad that money can buy you, you can sell your soul. It's exactly like the movies and like all the songs say. You sell your soul to the devil. So I'm out here trying to take a breath, get some fresh air, talking to this microphone for a while, babble to you guys, babble incessantly about absolutely nothing, boring the heck out of everybody else, annoying everybody else because I can't sleep. Using you guys as therapy, basically. I'm trying, though. I really am. I've had a lot, and yet every day I see people that experience a lot more than what I have, and it doesn't take away for the things I've experienced. The stuff I've experienced is still bad, is still hard. But I look at what's going on in Israel and I think, fuck, I can't wrap my head around that. I can't fathom having to go through that. I can't fathom the things that people that live in India that are so poverty stricken. There are so many things that people go through that I cannot even imagine. And I think, God, we are humans go through a lot of crap. We're pretty damn resilient. We're pretty freaking resilient. And thank God for that, because right now, oh my gosh, the world's going through some shit. The world is going through it. Not just right now. I mean, we always have. Since the dawning of time, there's always been something. There's always been some type of war, some type of chaos, some type of conflict. And we've gotten through it. We've gotten through it. So we'll get through this. I just am, it's still scary. So I look up at the stars. I'm looking at Saturn right now. Beautiful. Listening to those coyotes. Listen again, guys. Oh, the coyotes are calling. They are calling tonight. Let's see if I can walk down see if I can walk down here. Can hear a train in the background. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. Ooh, I'm going to walk myself off of my, if all of a sudden I slip and fall or all of a sudden I stop talking, it's because I've walked into my ditch here. Let's see. I normally have my motion sensor lights, but apparently there hasn't been enough light lately. All right, let's see if I can do this and still talk. Holy banana, where am I? Holy cow, guys. I am all cattywampus. Okay, back on track, back on track. And we're back on track. All right, let's see if I've walked far enough down. Well, they're going further. Darn it, my plan backfired. All right, well, my plan backfired. I wanted to go where I thought you could hear the coyotes better, but it appears they're moving away. I don't know. I like to come out here and try to gather myself and remember the things that I have, remember the things that I'm thankful for, like my son, my grandson, my grandkids, like my home, like the fact that I live out in the country, like my fiance, my friends, my job. I come out here and think about the fact that I have a lot of I see a lot of good. I'm trying to focus on that. The people that I see that are helping others and doing good for others. And that's the problem. I think we all get wrapped up in the negative. We get wrapped up in the drama. I mean, who doesn't like a juicy drama sometimes, right? That's why a lot of us watch reality TV. That's why we watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because we like juicy other people's train wrecks. We like the train wreck. We like someone else's stupidity. That's why we watch Jersey Shore, Flobama. You know, we like other people's train wrecks. But when it's real, when it's your own drama, it gets exhausting. And it gets exhausting watching other people's drama, because at some point you're just like, I can't keep watching train wrecks. I want to watch the sunrise. I want to watch the sunset. I want to laugh. I want to be at peace. I want to be content. I don't want to be full of hate and sorrow and rage and anxiety. I mean, I like watching The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I just want to sit outside and remember what we're here for and enjoy the calm and try to center myself and get back to the basics. So I just want to try to remind everybody just that, to get back to the basics. You know, simple. Simple is as simple does, stupid is as stupid does, you know? And I think if we just try to simplify things a little bit more, we overcomplicate things as humans. We make things as complicated as possible. Sometimes the simplest solution is just to take a step back for a second, kind of readjust, and start over, you know? Just reset. And I'm trying to remember that, just to reset, just take a second, gather myself, take a breath, remember what it is I'm here for, what is my goal, what's my end game, you know? My end game, I'm hoping, you know, I hope when I die, people think of me as a good person. I hope they think of me as someone that has tried their best to be respectful and accepting and a good person, that maybe I've helped a couple of people along the way. I hope my sons and my grandkids and my fiance are proud of me. I hope that when I die, they don't think that I've wasted my life or that I was a bad person. You know, I want to be a good role model. I always think about celebrities when they're like, I didn't ask to be a role model. I didn't ask for this. And they're right. They didn't ask for it, but they do know. They know what happens when you become a celebrity. They've seen it over and over and over again. They know whether they ask for it or not, that that's kind of par for the course, you know? And then I think, well, does that mean that they have to act a certain way? No, they can still do whatever they want to do, whether people feel like it's respectful or admirable or not. They don't have to be upstanding members of society just because they're celebrities. And it's not really fair that we judge them differently because of that. They're still humans. Humans are humans. We make mistakes. We act like fools. But don't act like, oh, I just didn't know. I had no idea that when I went to the grocery store, there was going to be paparazzi, and I didn't know there'd be all this burden. Well, you did. You do know. Is it fair? No, but you do know about it. Nobody wants to take responsibility for anything anymore. Everybody points fingers at everybody else. Everybody's the victim. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why humans do that. Why do we think that if we make a mistake, it's so horrible? We make mistakes. We're supposed to. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to make mistakes. Now, granted, there's some big mistakes, like, killing someone. Oops, that's a big mistake. But why do we have such a hard time admitting when we're wrong or admitting fault? We're crazy. We just immediately point fingers and make excuses. Myself included, I've done the same thing. I'm not innocent of that. I don't know. Accountability is a lost art. Right now, there's so much garbage going on in our government. There's just so much garbage. So many illegal things going on and no accountability whatsoever. Zero. We are going to have to, as citizens of the United States, we're going to have to stand up and say no more. We are going to have to take matters into our own hands. It seems we are going to have to be the ones that take back our country. Because accountability seems to be, celebrities never have accountability either. It's so odd. It's like you become a celebrity and all of a sudden you're above the law. You get into politics and you're above the law. You start making a certain pay and you're above the law. And we as citizens need to remind people that they are people, remind celebrities and politicians that they are people just like us. They are humans just like us. They are not above the law and they have the same accountability as we do. In fact, I feel that if you're in politics, that is something that you should be holding yourself to a better standard. You should be holding yourself to a higher standard. Absolutely. You should be following the rules to the letter, crossing those I's and, dotting those I's and crossing those T's. I don't know. I had to come outside, center my chi, tap my third eye 21 times. Remember the good. Take in the good. I heard the coyotes and now you can't hear them. They've moved on. You can hear the crickets. You can hear the train. Well, I hope you are sleeping. I hope you are not up in the middle of the night tossing and turning. If you're at work, I definitely hope you're not sleeping if you're at work. If you're driving, I also hope you are not sleeping. I hope you are wide awake if you're at work or driving. But if it's nighttime for you, or even daytime and you sleep in the day, I hope that you are having great dreams and you are sleeping soundly and you wake refreshed. If you're at work, I hope it goes by fast for you and I hope you are having a great day. No matter where you are or what you're doing, I wish you the best. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to my babbling of absolutely nothing, my boring nonsense about absolutely nothing. And yet you listen and I appreciate it. So thanks for tuning in to episode 96. Until next time.